Hi, I'm Kevin Proto with Locals Supporting Locals, and we're here for another segment of the Heartbeat of the Okanagan. And this evening we're at the Penticton City Council Meeting, where one of the issues that was being addressed was in regards to the deer. And we're here with...
Pardon me?
Your name?
My name's Heather Karen.
Okay, and you spoke up. You had a 5-minute delegation in regards to the deer. So
That's right.
what were your concerns, and how do you feel about the way that it turned out?
Well, my concerns were simply that that people were looking, barking up the wrong tree, to use an old cliche, that what they were planning to do to solve the issue isn't going to work. And a lot of people, biologists and scientists and people all over the interior, have said the same thing that I've researched, and that not only is it not going to work, but it was also sort of like shooting a mosquito with a rifle. And that a lot of the concerns were individual. I realized that the city is not responsible for an individual having deer in their backyard. It's their responsibility to fence it or do whatever, and it's not the city's and it's not the taxpayers. So,
Sorry about that. Just if you just stand further back, maybe, just so I can hear her.
And I was happy how it turned out, because I really think they listened. But I think they partly listened because I also appreciated their point of view and all the stuff they have heard on this issue over and over again.
You made one comment though that was awesome, which was what the problem was. Is it the problem? Is the deer?
What I came to think is that we have a human problem, not a deer problem, because humans move here with a sense of entitlement. That things should be just from wherever they came, and it might have been a big city. Well, you don't have large deer roaming around in a big city, and this is a wildlife area.
Yes, and that's the problem we have here. This is agricultural capital here. We live amongst mountains. We're between two lakes, and it's like you said, people come here from the big city with expecting to have the same things here. And so you're right. Yeah. And so we have to keep that in consideration. And for some reason, if people don't like it, then that's what they say.
Say move. But I mean, I read a lot of educational things that people aren't aware of about wildlife. I mean, the deer, for example, are only aggressive when they have young, and if you meet one or if you surprise them. And they're not expecting you there. And that, basically if you're walking your dog or your child, as one of the counselors said, and you encounter a deer, if you're concerned, give them a wide berth and go the other way.
Okay, I know I was a little concerned there with how Councillor West Hopkins was looking at this.
Yes.
Like as if we had to live inside a bubble here,
yes.
Where life is perfect and there is no harm. Like nature has its course here.
Yes.
And so, what are your thoughts on what West Hopkins had to say in regards to?
I was concerned. I think that he's very young in the job, and it concerned me because he kept saying this, repeating the same thing. If somebody walks with their child, you're not going. We weren't saying that you blame them if they got into a car accident with a deer, saying it's your own fault. That's how he interpreted what we were saying. We were saying, you educate people. You can have an accident with a truck. You can have an accident with anything. There's no guarantees, but there are certain things that I read on the internet about traffic safety in wildlife areas. First of all, deer don't swerve because deer don't know which way you're going to go, so they don't know which way to run, for one. Now, if you're going too fast, you're probably going to swerve, so maybe you'd be slowing down. They talked about, sometimes the deer, they villainize the deer.
Yes, exactly.
As if, and they were here first, they're trying to survive with us, and they don't realize we're the enemy as much as a cougar. They know a cougar's an enemy, and they try to get away from that, but they don't realize we are.
Okay, any thoughts on with the backyard chickens? I know it's still not resolved here.
With the backyard which?
With backyard chickens.
Well, they were making sense. As far as the cleanliness and the rats and some of the concerns, I don't have a problem with it if people are responsible and if they are monitored. I feel like, I don't know whether the city would license them but they'd have bylaws. I don't have a problem with it, frankly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just makes sense, you know, I mean,
It
especially
makes
with,
sense, and, you know, I mean, I'd buy my eggs from the next door neighbor if they had free range chickens.
I'd sooner buy it from there than buy it from the corporate
Thank you.
stores, especially
Me too.
with the way our chickens
Yeah.
are being raised.
No, I don't have a
today.
problem
Yeah.
with that at all.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
no, I just wanted to get it, I know it wasn't your issue for this
No,
evening,
no,
but,
no, no. I thought, in fact, I thought it was great because that's not what you're going to find in a big city, you know. So no, and as long as, you know, people can keep their dogs dirty, you know. It doesn't matter. You can still have issues with pets. You know,
Yeah.
it's up to the human being. There again, it's a human problem.
Well, yeah, I know, and that's it, you know, so I mean, you know, yes, you got people that are responsible, courteous, and think of their neighbors when, you know, in something like backyard chickens here, but then again, there are others, you know, who
Right.
do it. And
Well, the allergy thing.
yeah, and that's why, again, like, I agree that it should be monitored, you know what I mean, for
And
people.
also too, like airlines allow you to take a pet, but they only allow so many, and they warn people with allergies, well, if it's gonna be pets on this flight, maybe take another. Well, maybe the same thing here, there's someone in the area, if you're buying, or if you're already there, of course, it's not gonna be the same, but maybe then the people with the chickens are gonna have to, it's gonna have to be give and take.
Good communication, basically,
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think is missing, because I found when I started doing this, people were calling me a bitch, and I was getting some crank calls, and I thought, they aren't listening to what I'm saying, or they wouldn't
No.
be calling me that.
No, I know, and that's the problem, is we're not connected as a community, and that's the goal of locals, supporting locals here, is to get that communication happening again, getting people, you know, coming down, meeting, you know, whether it be in a restaurant, cafe, or, you know, somewhere,
Right.
and have discussions on these issues, you know,
Right.
and, I mean, not everybody wants to come and sit at a 2-hour-long council meeting.
Exactly.
You know, with so many of the different subjects. So sometimes when it's something that's important in our community, before they make a decision, we need to discuss
Right,
it. You know, and so
right.
we got to find that. You know,
Right.
so that's what the part of the goal is of locals supporting locals.
Because I was really concerned when I was, like I know that the mayor has had a lot to do with the Invermay, and they're culling up there, and they lost their lawsuit and everything, and I was really quite depressed when the lady called me from there, and then I started thinking about it, and I thought, you know what, everybody's got the same information, the same reasons for not doing it, the same solutions, and everybody's shaking their head and going, no, so there's got to be something else going on.
Well, and
That's what I think it is, and that's why I think we have a human problem, not a deer problem.
exactly. Well, and that's one of the things that was brought up with, you know, all of a sudden implementing bike lanes. You know, who were the bureaucrats that came in? Because there was no uprising from the community saying, hey, we need bike lanes all around the city. You know, so there's something else going on,
Right.
some sort of influence behind the scenes. So
Yes,
that's why, again,
that's-
we as a people need to communicate more here.
That's
You know,
right.
and so we need
Because
to know
there's
when
something
there's
going
outside
on
influence.
underneath.
Yes, there
You know,
always is.
You know, and that's what you don't hear about in the media.
Yes, absolutely.
And that-
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. That was an interesting meeting, and I was kind of nervous, but